Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live streaming segment of For the People podcast. And of course, as always, I am your humble host, Nico House, with a very special guest tonight. I would like to welcome everybody to the show for the very first time. And it's a goddamn shame it took so long. That's definitely on me. Rathbone, what is going on, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show finally, and I appreciate the invitation.
Nah, of course, man. Dog, I gotta just say off the jump, I remember whenever all this stuff with Palestine started a couple of years ago, bro, I used to watch your videos. I was like, yo, I don't know who this cat is, but he is roasted. I was like, where's this dude been at this whole time? Because I love the way you put things into perspective because it's like you use a Socratic method of comedy. It's like I'm just gonna put these questions out here. I will let you guys draw your own conclusion. And it's a
Yeah.
very tough line to toe, but you do a great job at it.
Well, I should pay you the compliment as well because I love these hotspots that you're doing with our mutual friend Nick Cruz. That's a powerful piece of propaganda, and I say that as a positive term, propaganda, because everything's propaganda, of course, and it's very effective. And we share your content on stream all the time. I've been covering your content for some time now too.
Oh, I
So yeah,
appreciate it, man.
mutual admiration society here.
Bro, it was crazy whenever I kind of came up with this idea for Hotspot to do these short form videos because it was actually the contrary to what I had been accustomed to doing before. Because I used to just love just doing straight long streams, like before
Hmm.
everybody started doing these like 2 or 3 hour live streams.
Yeah.
I would do them, and some people would love them, but there would be a lot of people who complained. And I was like, well, let me just start doing short form and see what happens. I don't know if it's gonna work because I
Yeah.
like to give context. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And people loved it, and I to this day I can't believe it because then people started actually copying it.
Are you the editing wizard behind that? Because these videos are
Bro,
very well polished.
Greg is our editor.
Okay.
His name is Mad Crab on Twitter. He's our
Okay.
editor, and
Yeah.
he is the goddamn goat. Like, bro, when we found him, like we've been following each other. I've been watching some of his work for a while. I knew he was an editor, but like, it is amazing when you have an editor that is so in tune to politics and into your commentary and your analysis and your style. Because I send him the videos. I sent a couple of screenshots of things like that, like about kind of like what I want to appear in the video, and
Hmm.
he just knows how to make it pop. Like he
Yeah.
knows what I would want. He knows what best fits my style. Same thing with how he works with Nick, and like we both have our distinct styles, and he just knows how to make every single video pop,
Hmm.
bro. It's amazing, honestly. Like
Yep.
we went to a different level when he joined the team.
Yeah. Well, we can all see that. The branding is really good. I like the hotspot brand. It's
Yeah, man.
very well
Proud of
done.
it,
So,
bro. I'm
yeah.
proud of it. I'm proud of it.
Keep
It
it
was
up.
a few years, well, I've been doing this for about 10 years now. And right that was like I found my sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? Where I can get as much content as possible and have it as well produced as it can be. And I
So,
feel like people get the message quicker too. Like it's people become
mhm.
more interested in topics when they can get a quick rundown and then do their own deep dives afterwards.
So you kind of started with, you said live stream, like long form content, and then that eventually evolved into what you're doing now, is just more like
Yep.
TikTok style, like explainer videos.
Because a lot of people will go to my content after the hotspot videos. 'Cause I usually try to do a longer video after, but the hotspot is to kind of like draw attention to things that
Yeah.
I feel like should be have attention drawn to them that otherwise people wouldn't be paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because generally I try to throw a couple of facts in there, or sometimes you just gotta do a video to remind people about what happened before, so that they don't fall in the same trap. Like I was doing hotspot videos. I don't know if you remember whenever before this whole Venezuela thing popped off and ended the way it did, I had been warning people for damn near a year and some change that this exact thing was going to happen. And I was telling people to look at the signs. And
Hmm.
people thought I was somebody. I remember somebody actually telling me that I was being sensationalist and I was overreacting to things that were happening. I'm like, nah, bro. They tried to send a SEAL team in to kidnap Maduro after the election. Did y'all forget that? Like that just happened. And they're
Yeah.
like, but they always do stuff like that. And then look what happened.
This is just what I was thinking too before we started, because doesn't it seem like everything that we've been saying and all the sources that we've been citing, it's sort of a vindicating moment for all of us here that have
Yeah.
been covering this for quite some time, and now we're seeing everything that we predicted come true.
Yeah, like, it's like the worst possible outcome. Like it's like vindication, like the worst possible form, because you're like, I told y'all this shit would happen, and people really don't understand the importance and the power of, if everyone is speaking about it, it's actually less likely to happen, right? If they're speaking
Right.
about it with enough time in front, because what happens is people start having to think about their offices, their positions, and how to maintain them. But if everybody only starts paying attention after the shit's already popped off, it usually doesn't stop anything.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the stuff that Maduro was able to go this long without being apprehended like that, because so many people were paying attention. They got him because everybody wasn't paying attention anymore. That's how they were able to carry this out. People kind of started paying attention more or less because of the drug stuff, but like they weren't paying attention like they were whenever Juan Guaido tried to declare himself president, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a different thing. Even with Iran, this situation with Iran, it was obvious to see what was going to happen after the 12-day war. Really, during the 12-day war. Like, this isn't, you're just kicking the can down the road. This isn't going to resolve anything. We haven't solved this problem. There's going to be a war. People, once again, you're being sensationalist. You're being sensational. You're exaggerating. Like, no, I'm not, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this man's an idiot.
Yeah, it's especially triggering, I have to say, when we have people that want to throw shade
That's
at what
like,
we're doing as if it's not important, you know. But I try to remind people that, you know, what we're doing is important. Every social movement that is successful has three pillars: educate, agitate, and organize. And we have to pay attention to the spectacle that's happening before our very eyes so that we can guide other working class people who are in the same socioeconomic conditions as us towards class consciousness, to use the phenomena that's happening right now and educate people as to who our enemies actually are, why this is happening, and what the root cause of the problem is. So
imagine what anti-imperialists would do with the abilities that we have to convey messages and the truth. Like, if they had this shit in 1950, 1940, even during the Cold War, during the McCarthyism.
Exactly.
Because think, for a long time, how many people actually believed the diaspora of Iran whenever they talked about Iran? Because there was no alternative being presented to them. How many people believed the diaspora about Cuba, right? How many people believed the diaspora about Venezuela? I did not know Black Venezuelans existed until I started doing my own research, because I lived in Miami and there is no such thing as a Black Venezuelan in Miami. So I just assumed they just didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a well-educated person even at that time. And when I found out there was a bunch of mestizos, a bunch of Black Venezuelans, obviously same thing with Cuba. I'm like, hold up, that sounds a little strange. I need to figure that out. What's going on here? And why does it seem to be a pattern of behavior that I see occurring? The white, wealthy elites or the business class seem to flee. The United States takes care of them when they get there. And the Black people are, and the mestizos and the brown people, the indigenous, they're all celebrating their communist government. So now I need to take a step back and observe this pattern and figure out what's going on and where are we being lied to. And once you start doing that, like, and then you tell the truth, that's why Trump is at a record low in approval rating. Because of what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, I really reject when people try to tell us that, you know, nothing's changing. You know, what you're doing is really just rubbernecking. You're not really, you know, nothing. It's always been like this. So then it's always going to be like this. I'm thinking none of the things that are happening right now could have happened in the 90s. Like when I was a kid, you know, I mean, we're able to be the media now. We can use the tools that these mega corporations also use to disseminate propaganda. And yes, it's an uphill battle, but I think that we're experiencing a sea change right now. And
absolutely, it's crazy to say that what we do doesn't matter whenever these Zionist billionaires are paying Piers Morgan tens of millions of dollars to be on YouTube, not on TV anymore. YouTube, when they're paying what's his name, Mehdi Hassan, tens of millions of dollars to start a network on YouTube and Twitter, doing the same stuff we're doing. They're just getting billionaire donors to fund it, to make it look more professional. Like, okay, so y'all took mainstream media and put it on YouTube, but why? If it doesn't work, if it's not effective, if it doesn't affect change, if it doesn't change the conversation, if it doesn't move the discourse in the right direction or the wrong direction, why are they so invested in it then?
Exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Why do they spend $1 trillion into a PR apparatus that, you know, is committed to controlling what you think and making sure you have, you know, acceptable ideas and not unacceptable ones?
Yep. I really quick, man. I gotta show you. Did you see the video that Iran posted today? Cause this war is getting a little bit scary now. I mean, it was scary
Yeah.
before, cause we know that what if the U.S. or Israel attacked Iran, like there was no avoiding World War III. Like there's no way because of all the
Right.
factors that play a part. So
Oh no, I
after,
don't think I've seen this one.
bro, so this
They've
is
been
confirmed.
trolling. Iran's got a strong troll game.
Yeah, low key, right? They definitely been studying. They've been working with China on that. I think they've been hitting up each other in the DMs asking for advice. Like, hey man, so like,
Yeah,
who
of
does y'all
course.
videos, man? But this video is actually just terrifying, actually, and we're gonna watch it real quick. Bro,
Powerful stuff. I'm sensing a theme.
yeah, there two things. I want to hear your take on it first.
Well, I like how they connected all of the theaters, the front lines of imperialism, showing you that they seem like isolated phenomena, but this has been going on across the world. Yemen, Vietnam, Gaza, et cetera, now Iran. And I think that's a strong, powerful metaphor to show that this is nothing new. And it speaks to this whole anti-colonialist, anti-imperialist sentiment, you know, that's prevailing in the global South, in the places that the United States has decimated. They're tired of this. You know, they're tired of this epic that we've been living through, and it's no longer working. You know, and Iran is the axis of resistance, and finally we're seeing the boomerang, the imperial boomerang, take hold.
That eventually that always comes back.
Right.
So one of the things that I took, so obviously there was a consistent theme of anti-imperialism and showing all the crimes the U.S. has committed in all the countries and the people that have been affected by it. But for me, it like was the ending because it was a missile landing, you know, on the Statue of Liberty, which shapes the devil, obviously about the United States. But like the thing about Iran is Iran doesn't threaten. Iran doesn't threaten. If they say something is going to happen, if they show something happening, generally speaking, it gets carried out. So my question to you would be, do you think that it's a possibility that they could attack the United States directly?
I don't think that is a possibility. I'm not a military expert. I'm not inside the Iranian chain of command or anything. I don't know. But judging by everything that they've said, which has been truthful, they've been absolutely, what's the word? They've been honest throughout this whole thing. And I guess I see that video as more of a metaphor. That they're going after the Epstein class. That's why I see the ball statue. I think that's the Epstein class. Yeah. They've been very good at their messaging of always invoking Epstein class, and they always make a distinction. And when I say they, I mean like the likes of Professor Morandi, who's the Iranian spokesperson, and also a lot of the Iranian officials, like the foreign minister, Dr. Arakchi. They always it's like they're teaching the Americans class consciousness. They're like, we understand that the Americans did not vote for this war. They did not want to, attack Iran. In fact, this war is being imposed upon Americans and Iranians alike by the Epstein class. And I think they do a very good job of always distinguishing the two and saying we're not interested in attacking American people or the country. You know, we're going after the Zionist capture of the government, basically.
That is a sentiment that is only maintained seemingly by our evil adversaries in the global south and in Russia. Like, it's insane how often we hear from even Putin, for example, our war's not with the American people. We know that y'all have no choice in this. We know y'all don't run your country. Like, they're very aware that even Trump, who puts on this, you know, machismo act as if he's in charge, they know he's not in charge. They know it. They're like, bro, you sit here, you're acting goofy, putting on this tough guy act, pretending as if you're in charge, when all of your actions demonstrate how far from the truth that is. Because nothing you're doing is conducive to, like, your self-interest, let alone the interests of the United States, let alone the people. Like, you knew you couldn't win this war. Iran knew. Bro, have you seen the video of General Mattis talking about how dumb it was for Trump to get into this war, how ridiculous it is that he thinks that there's going to be an unconditional surrender? And this is the same General Mattis who, for his entire career as a general and his entire career after, is obsessed with finding any excuse he can to go to war with people. Literally, he left the Trump administration not because they were waging too much war, because Trump said that he wanted to pull troops out of Syria. That's why Mattis left. And even he's like, bro, there's a reason we haven't gone there.
Right. It's always a powerful rhetorical point that, like you just made, when you have actual United States government officials, you know, telling us the truth. And like you said, you know, he resigned. It kind of reminds me of, you know, the fact that Henry Kissinger, at the end of his life, Henry Kissinger correctly called out the NATO expansionism as being the cause of the war with Russia and Ukraine. And he condemned. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But and also there's a whole slew of officials going back to the Cold War. George Kennan was the first director of policy planning in the Cold War. He literally formulated the whole containment policy against Russia, or against the Soviet Union at the time. And even he, in the 90s, and at the twilight of his life, he gave an interview with the New York Times saying, this is awful. Like, this was after the first round of NATO expansion, which Clinton initiated in like 1999 or 1998. And he said, this is an awful idea. We told the Russians that we would disband NATO. We told them we wouldn't move 1 inch east. We've reneged on all those promises. We betrayed them, essentially. And this is only going to lead to a war. And he was absolutely right. And he also added this, that years from now, when that war happens, there will inevitably be Russophobes that come out and say, you see, Russia bad. Look at that. They started a war. But that would be completely wrong. So, yeah. I think it's a powerful tool to put that point in your argument, that, like, no, look, this general said so. This former director of policy planning said the same thing. Are they just Kremlin shills? Are they, you know?
Right. These are people who are like Russophobic, McCarthyite, like.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, listen to this. So for context, Mattis was a 4-star general. Mattis served until, I think 2013 or something like that. Joined the Trump administration, and he resigned because he wanted more war. And this guy is like, hey, man, nah, this isn't it. This isn't a good look.
And I think that what we're seeing is a situation where targetry never makes up for a lack of strategy. And by that I mean 15,000 targets have been hit. There have been significant military successes, but they are not matched by strategic outcomes. Now, some of the strategic outcomes early on, unconditional surrender, regime change, we're going to dictate who the next supreme leader is. Those were clearly nonsense. Those were delusional. And I think that what we're seeing...
Look, hey, don't listen to Nico, you know, private Nico. Well, listen to the general. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the military, and even we knew back then, because there was always conversations about whether or not we were going to go to war with Iran. Really, since I remember when Obama got elected, because of the whole Iran deal, the nuclear deal, JCPOA. and there was always a question about whether or not we were going to go. And I was working in a military intelligence brigade. Everybody was like, hell no. Where would you get that idea? I'm like, well, we always got beef with them. And everybody was like, all the officers like, bro, we cannot beat Iran. There is no way in hell. If we did a draft today, they said, we still could, like at that time, it was about 2010. They said we still couldn't beat Iran.
Yeah. You bring up a good point. They've done war games. One of the most expensive war games I've come to learn was Project Millennium Challenge, where they war gamed a scenario with Iran. And apparently they've done this many times since 2000, I think 1 or 2. And every single time they've done this, they being the Pentagon, the United States military, every time they've run this war game, they've lost, and a whole manifest of different ways. But yeah, I think that clip that you just played, the general, he might very well love the idea of war with Iran, but what you hear him saying is that this plan makes no sense. And I think that's true. It doesn't.
And which is what a lot of us have been saying to just to bolster our point of how much he's not in control, right? It's like this war doesn't make sense. Anyone with any level of rationale, any level of military experience who isn't a weekend warrior cuck like fucking Pete Hegseth, like anybody. But look at Joe Kent. Joe Kent is like, he's actually been firm on this stance since before he was in his position. He didn't change. He's actually been consistent for all my critiques of him. Like, it was Trump who changed because Trump fired Bolton for wanting to do what Trump is doing right now. Everybody forgets. Why did he fire Bolton? Well, Bolton wanted to institute the Libya model in Iran, and we know that was a bad idea. That's
a really good point. I didn't even think about John Bolton, but you're absolutely right. I mean, you see tweets from like 2013 saying that, from Donald Trump saying, oh, Barack Obama is going to pull us into a war with Iran because he's a terrible negotiator. It's just like, he's such a hypocrite. I mean, it's completely absurd.
It's beyond hypocrisy. It's like, bro, who has your chain? Who's pulling your leash? And we know who is, right? Because Marco Rubio told us. When I was talking to Kyle the other day, I was like, I know you've seen that speech or that press conference he did, where he was like, so we knew that we had to attack first because either way, Israel was going to do it. And if they did it, we knew that they were going to attack our assets. So, we thought it was a smart military strategy to attack first. And it was almost like that, like, blink twice, you know what I'm saying? If you need help type of situation. Or like he was snitching without and trying to make it sound like he was being positive about Israel potentially attacking first and like the U.S. But it really sounded like he was saying, no, like we're not, it wasn't our choice. Right. Like he was telling the truth. He's like, we did this for Israel. And he made it sound like it was positive. But really it looked like he's like, bro, we are not, what did they say? The prisoners are running the prison. Like it's not us.
The war, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely irrational from a tactical or strategic sense. But I also reject the idea that this is not something that is a feature of the United States foreign policy. I mean, we have sought, we cooed Iran in 1953. We've been talking about controlling the Middle East going back to the 50s, So I still
we've
think
always wanted to take control from Britain.
Yeah, I don't want to let the United States off the hook and just say, let's just bad apple Trump and say this is just a weird, strange event that's isolated. I think it's in a certain sense it's perfectly in line with the historical record of United States foreign policy, specifically in the Middle East, of course.
So here's why I will push back a little bit. The goal is perfectly in line. However, the strategy implemented is completely out of the norm because
1000%, I agree with that.
If countries that we believe we can go in, mollywop, and get what we want and get out, we do it. We did it with Korea. We did it with Vietnam. I mean, we lost, but like if we think we can do it, we'll do it. We did it with Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. Yemen, every time we think or even with Libya. We think we can do it, we'll do it. But with Iran, there is probably no country in the Middle East that we wanted to conquer more. And we still, even whenever we had a high level of patriotism in the country and military morale was at an all-time high in my lifetime, they were like, hell no, we're not doing it. But I thought y'all hate them. We hate them, but we're not idiots. You get what I'm saying? That's what makes this so bizarre, because they've known and yet they still did it.
So it leads me to think then, like, why is this, like, it's obviously such a bad strategy. It's going to fail. And I'm left with the sentiment that, or the conclusion that it's out of desperation. I mean, the American empire is waning. We're declining. We know that if we put this off in the future, it's going to even be more difficult to accomplish. So it's like we're throwing in everything but the kitchen sink right now just to try to speed run this war, this coming war against China. And I just think ultimately it's a desperate, futile act, and we're witnessing the extinction burst essentially of the American empire and the state of Israel, which is
you hit the nose right on, or you hit the nail right on the head, bro. Like, you don't know that I've said this for a while, and I've said, guys, I know this is going to sound crazy, because maybe y'all wouldn't think that Israel or the U.S. would feel like this, but I think that they're desperate, because they're never going. So there's one thing about the Epstein files that no one likes to, or no one really discusses, which I think is very important. Anyone who could be a leader in the future, everyone who could be implicated by the files can't be a leader anymore. Can't be in a position because they're too old. They've already served. They've already been implicated before. Like, everybody, the list is non-existent now. None of those people will be able. So it's like, what do we do all this for then? We have to use the last person we have left. And he's also just so happened to be the dumbest motherfucker who don't really care. And he has the most, we probably have the most on him than we do any other world leader on top of all that. And people already don't like him, so he don't really give a shit. He would do anything just to piss off the other side as it is. So now so Epstein's gone. They got they arrested Ghislaine Maxwell, supposedly. And this is Trump's last term. There is nobody else we can use these files against. If we don't use this shit now to get what we want, how does Israel achieve the Greater Israel Project? How? Because you need the U.S. to do it.
Yeah. I don't see that ever happening. I think that's a pipe dream. That's just Iran is pushing the United States out of the Middle East. I think that's going to be permanent, and it's going to take some time. But I mean, other people don't agree with that, what I just said. Some people say that it's not going to be a complete evisceration of these military bases, and the United States will maintain a presence. I think it's done. I think Iran has essentially won this war. The longer that it plays out, it favors Iran. It's a war of attrition. That's what they planned for. The United States is projecting. Years, right? What's that?
They said they said they're prepared for a minimum of 10 years. Didn't they say that?
I didn't hear that. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they did say that.
I think I covered it. It was like a minimum of. It was the defense minister. Yeah, he was like, no, we're ready for a minimum of 10 years. Oh, he was because he was getting interviewed, and he was like, in the interviewer with all this audacity said, so you're not scared of a potential ground invasion for the U.S.? He was like, let them come. I'm ready for him. We're waiting for him.
It's a stupid.
The interviewer was like, what? Like, yeah, we're waiting. What? We're ready for 10 years. We can we're ready for 10 years of this shit, bro. Please see yourselves in so we can see y'all asses out. Because and our troops would be exhausted. Like, I don't even see a situation where we can even penetrate Tehran, like, with a significant force. But like, if we get into the country, like, okay, so we have paratroopers, right? We have airborne. Y'all getting fucked up. Y'all not jumping out of no airplanes in with all those underground bases where you have no intelligence about where they're at. Like, okay, so that's how. And you'll be lucky if the plane makes it back to the goddamn base without getting shot down. Like,
they ran out 2 of our aircraft carriers. They're not even we're not even anywhere close to the Strait of Hormuz, you know?
Not even a little bit. Dog, my friends in the Navy are terrified for their friends.
Yeah.
Because he set them up for failure.
Yeah.
Where are they going to go? So imagine. So he sent an armada there, right? Okay. So what happens whenever all of their defense systems are exhausted? If one of their lead, like if the Lincoln, for example, is destroyed, every other ship is fucked. By the way, if y'all don't know, that's like a fact. They would have to turn back. But how do you turn back when you have to pass through the Red Sea? If I'm not mistaken, like you have to pass through that area. Like everybody, so nobody is like, for example, Greece isn't letting them port, and that's like the closest. They're having to go to India, and they've already said like, this shit ain't gonna work. It's like India doesn't have the resources we need. So you basically, like that whole like what sitting duck fucking metaphor, that is literal with them.
Yeah.
Like that is what's happened. He set them up for failure because he was trying to pretend. Like I think at first maybe he was just threatening, and then he realized, because remember what happened right before this war started. There was another attempt on Trump's life. They found somebody else trying to kill Trump. And my theory to this day is, yep, that was Israel reminding him, don't forget, we can touch you. So and Netanyahu said 3 weeks beforehand, we don't give a damn about these negotiations. We're going to attack Iran. And so you know what that means? Big bro gonna do it too. And I want to hear your opinion about this idea that basically the United States, as a baby, is trying to destroy and overthrow and outthink and out-strategize empires that have been around for thousands of years. And the United States is a baby by comparison. And I think it has I feel like the United States and a lot of its citizens thinks that has no bearing on the outcome of these events. And I'm like, you guys are morons. Nobody exists for thousands of goddamn years and doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I mean, and another thing is that Iran is in an existential fight for its survival, whereas the United States is fighting for brunch. I mean, they're fighting to, protect their hegemony around the world. The political will of the United States is not matched by Iran's political will. And I think as it drags on, as there's more cost to the war, it's going to get more deeply unpopular with the Americans. It's already historically the worst in terms of American support for a war of aggression in the history of the United States. We're at like 30% approval rating, and I think that's going to continue to tank the longer this goes on. And he'll have no, he'll have to pull out. I mean, I believe that at a certain point, and it's going to cause a global economic crisis. And we know that capitalists really only understand one language, and that's the language of profit accumulation. And once they start getting hit with their ability to accumulate profits, then I think we'll see another change.
So let me ask, do you feel like this act that Trump is putting on, feigning as if there are peace talks actively ongoing with Iran, do you feel like it's an attempt to manipulate markets as well? Because that's where I'm at with it.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's too. I've listened to a lot of experts on this, and so I'm kind of parroting their points. But I've gleaned that there's basically two motives. It's to, like you said, manipulate the markets, make sure there's not too much panic or fear, and to also buy time so that these expeditionary units and these rangers and all these forces can get into formation so they can stage this operation. But we know, as it said, Trump,
that's gonna be a fucking. He's like sending them. He's sending them to their graves, bro.
The meat grinder. He's sending them. And then another thing is, if you go by the numbers, it makes no sense. I learned this from Larry Johnson, but I think at most, the most amount of troops that we're sending to the Middle East to start this war, this ground invasion, is 20,000. That might even be an overestimate. And they're trying to capture a coastline that's like thousands of miles, like 2,000 miles.
Something like that, yeah. It's
and they're going up against an army that's 1 million men strong. The country is 90 million strong. It's the size of Western Europe. And just to give you an analog, on D-Day, when we stormed the beaches of Normandy, that was a beachfront, I think, of like 5 miles, and it took 165,000 troops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something like.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a huge space. I assumed it was
Let
because
me.
of how
I
many
mean,
troops
I'm gonna
died.
fact check. I'm pretty sure it's like something like 5 miles, but I'll check that so I don't
And you know
get
what's crazy too?
roasted.
Like on top of all the general military strategic advantages Iran has, they've been specifically preparing for you, for you specifically.
Yeah.
Like whenever
Yeah.
other people have to do war games, they're training for maybe this person, our neighbor, No, motherfucker, they have been spending the last several decades preparing for your ass
And
to the point where
studying all of our losses too, mind you. And seeing us attack their neighbors around the region.
yep.
So they've had a lot of evidence to go off of.
They know what our weaknesses are. They know everything that we're capable of because we're dumbasses and we like to flaunt everything that we do, like all the ways that we could potentially win a war because we think that, if you feign might, then you can win. Like that fake it till you make it shit ain't gonna work with Iran like it wouldn't work with Russia. But like what's crazier is, so I keep telling people back to the point where you made about the truth, about Ron basically being honest about everything since the start of this war, even before. They said, yeah, man, we have shit that y'all haven't seen yet and that y'all can't stop. And that Israel can't stop. And they're like, yeah, there's bullshit. And they're just saying that because they hypersonic.
It's like, isn't that the first rule of war is to know your enemy? We don't know shit about Iran or the Iranians.
Exactly. That is my theory is that is why the 12-day war stopped. It like Trump attacked the nuclear centers and then pretended as if he actually destroyed those facilities because when Israel got hit by that hypersonic, they were like, hold the fuck up. When did they get this? Why did nobody know? Why do we have so many Mossad agents in Iran if no one can tell us that they got a goddamn hypersonic that we can't know, our defense system don't even know is coming until it's already hit us? That's what happened.
Yeah. And another point is they have the entire missile supply chain. It's not just the missiles that are ready in the launch sites that are underground. They've got factories. They're still going, they're still producing more missiles every day. So when you say 10 years, yeah, I don't see any stop to it because they're constantly outputting more weapons.
Their normal output was way more than ours for far cheaper when they weren't actively at war, when they didn't have a motivation to make more missiles. I imagine they're making more now.
Right.
And probably paying extra for it. Like paying their workers, paying people. Like, yeah, man, come work with us. Come. We're gonna end these motherfuckers today. Like it's we've all been patient. We've all lost enough family. Everybody is tired of this shit, and everybody is looking into us to solve their problem. Like I've always said, like it's not their responsibility to solve the empire, like to solve this U.S. empire problem. It's really the responsibility of the U.S. But they understand to a large degree that we're being held hostage too.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they're willing to shoot y'all motherfuckers. Like, we understand. Like, we get it.
Yeah, I think you're inspiring some thoughts here, but I think we're seeing the end stages of this dialectical process whereby the weak become the strong and now the strong become the weak. And I think you're seeing that it's like the yin yang. It's like now the Iranians and the socialist bloc that has been gaining power, economic power and military power is finally overcoming the strong aspect in this contradiction historically, which was imperial capitalism.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I 100% agree, and I feel like it was an inevitability.
Yeah.
I feel like it was always going to happen because really the capitalist empire has actually been crumbling for quite some time, and they've been putting band-aids over the scars and over like really, it was from a paper cut to a gash, and from a gash to amputation damn near, and they're still trying to put band-aids over capitalism and the empire. I'm like, bro, whenever Burkina Faso and Mali successfully kicked out the French government and no one did anything about it, not like directly, they're still trying to fund terrorist organizations there, but Russia has helped, and Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have been able to use a military coalition to keep them at bay. So in other words, they successfully kick out the empire. And it doesn't look like they're changing anytime soon. And Ibrahim Traore just turned 30 goddamn 8 years old. If you think that you've achieved a lot, look at what this man did. Okay? So France is the second largest economy in the EU, guys. They know they cannot survive without France being the second largest economy, which is only the case because of the fact that we're able to take advantage of West Africa, specifically Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And they're still like, yeah, but we can't win. So, yeah, it's the empire is crumbling. And it's not like a slow leak anymore. Because it's like, how are y'all going to mount this war? The EU isn't even together on this shit.
Yeah,
Spain's
all
like,
of our allies.
They're like, we don't want nothing to do with this. Keep us the fuck out. Y'all ain't filling up here. Y'all ain't eating breakfast here. Y'all ain't getting coffee here. Don't even come see your boo thing. Don't stay over there. Don't bring your problems here.
It's okay because Donald Trump already won the war and he doesn't really actually need any of the help, right? I mean, but also send help, please.
Question. Why do you send troops to a war that you've already won, right?
Yeah, right. Why are you still bombing this country that you've already defeated? Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can find a video where he's like, he literally said, like, not even a few hours ago, he was like, we basically already won everything, man. Like, it's already been won. He literally says this,
victory
guys.
every day.
And it's the most bizarre shit because he's like explaining how we're so strong and we're going to win and how the Iranian government is supposedly kowtowing to every demand that he makes. And then it's like, and so that's why we have to send 20,000 troops because we've already won. Fucking logic right there. They won't see that shit coming. Sending troops to a war you already won. You got to play chess, not checkers. Jedi mind trick.
He's seeing moves we just don't see on the board.
That's what it is, man. The art of the deal.
The art of the deal.
Against the regime, which is largely decimated. You could really say we have regime change because they've all been killed. They're all dead. Nobody really knows. The reason they gave us the 8 chips is I wanted them to prove that we're dealing with somebody that's allowed to deal. And they say, we will give you a present. And the present was 8 chips. We're going to give you 8 chips. And they actually made it 10. It was 8. And I heard on one of your shows 2 days ago in the morning, a very good show hosted by very good people, Fox and Friends. And by the way,
Fox
I have
and
to
Friends.
say, Maria's great. You got a lot of great people. You switch back and forth. Maria's great. You have so many great people.
Please keep talking good about me, please.
You can't have everything. You have a couple of lousy ones. But you can't have everything. But I watched on the show in the morning. They said, it's very surprising. There are 8 ships coming up the strait, and it's exactly what they told us they were going to give. And then they added 2 more. And that proved to me that we're dealing with the right people. But then they didn't want to say that publicly. And I said, well, you should say it publicly. And now they are saying it publicly.
Who said that?
Yeah, nobody said it publicly. Are the 8 ships in the room with us, please? I mean,
yeah. Because the economy would like to know.
He's such a bloviating idiot. He's such a pathological liar, and he's not even good at lying. I really don't think he cares whether or not we know that he's lying. He just does it with impunity. He's not even skilled at it. I mean, at least like Nosferatu, aka Netanyahu, at least he was like somewhat more Machiavellian in his lying abilities. But
he's gotten bad at it too lately, but
yeah, no, I'd hate to give Satan too much credit there, but Donald Trump, there's just no rhyme or reason to it. He just says things that are so provably false. He even said that
they said publicly today. And the first thing I see on my computer, like multiple times when I open up the news, Iran rejects any idea of negotiations.
That's on the daily, dude. Like every day, Donald Trump says a lie about what the Iranians are doing or saying, and then Iran has to come out and say, no, none of that is true.
He's like, we basically killed everybody, and the supreme ruler or supreme leader's son, who is now the supreme leader.
Yeah, he's like, we got rid of the Khomeini, and now we're talking to the new Khomeini, and everything's going really great.
We killed his dad, his wife, his kids, his brother,
and then they wanted.
I'm sure he's really ready to. I'm sure he's ready to negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, how masterful of a play was that for Donald Trump? He assassinated this guy's entire family, and then this guy just sends him gifts. And also, did you see this? That Donald Trump said that the Iranians asked him to become the supreme leader, and he said no thanks.
Bro,
Can you
what?
This is just.
Oh my God.
It's so
This
absurd.
man-
You can't even.
He's
really
a fucking clown, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe this man gets to just get up every day in the Oval Office and taxpayers paying his fucking bills to just be, just to put on a fucking circus act. Like, this is nuts. This is the most expensive satire in the history of the world, except for people are actually dying because of it. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. I thought my tax-paying money was gonna afford me better psyops. Honestly, can we throw?
Yeah, and we deserve better. God
Yeah.
damn it! If we're gonna go all this damn struggling, like, we deserve it. Like, it's insane to me. So do you know how screwed? First of all, I don't remember who I was watching. I think it was maybe George Galloway, when they were like, he was basically saying like, the United States has never in its young history, to our knowledge, killed a spiritual leader before, and there is a reason for that. Because imagine killing the fucking Pope, right? Imagine if Iran killed the Pope, like, and everybody knew it was, like, all hell is breaking loose. Like, bro, they're still telling us that Archduke Franz Ferdinand dying was justification to start a whole fucking world war. We know that was not the real case, but like, the Archduke getting killed started a world war. Now imagine killing the goddamn Pope. Imagine killing the Archduke of Russia. That is what you did when you killed Khomeini. Excuse me. So what's even crazier about this new Khamenei, his son, do you know what the main complaint was about him whenever they were trying to select him as a new Ayatollah or decide?
He issued a fatwa.
Yeah, it was because he wasn't clerical enough. He doesn't read scripture enough. He isn't religious enough. Like spiritual peace. Like, no. Why? Because this motherfucker spent all his time with the IRGC, Rathbone. This motherfucker spent his time preparing to go to war.
Right.
That's what he was doing.
I
killed the peaceful guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And you're talking about Mojtaba Khomeini, the son of.
Yes.
Right.
That was that's what he spent his time doing.
This is what happens when you assassinate all the moderate dissidents. Only the radical extremists now are, the hardliners. This is what you created. This is exactly what Israel wants, of course. They want to have the perception of, Iran is just, they can't be negotiated with. Well, it's because you murdered all the negotiators. And also another point is that the father, Ali Khamenei, was the lone holdout for acquiring a nuclear weapon. He issued a religious, fatwa, which is a word I just learned, and I feel so educated saying it, so I use it. But that basically said, the Iranian government will not pursue a nuclear weapon. It's against our religion. Well, he was the only one that was barring the Iranian government from procuring a nuclear weapon. Well, now you just got rid of that guy, So,
imagine the amount of respect they all had, knowing that was putting them in danger, right? But they're like, they respect him so much. He says it, man.
Yeah.
And so the one person keeping them from getting a nuclear weapon, you just killed. And he's also the one person that they respected so much that they listened to, even though they knew it would lead to a war, because the U.S. doesn't respect you unless you have a nuclear weapon.
Yep.
It's the dumbest shit. Like, I told people whenever I said, y'all know why Iran at that point, before the war started, had never killed an American. I said, it isn't because they couldn't. It's because they were actively choosing not to, because that Khamenei was warning everybody before they retaliated in whatever situation they had to retaliate in. And I said, y'all can go ahead and start getting your calculators out, start getting your pencils out, start keeping tally, because that shit's over now. I said, that number is about to rise. That 0 Americans killed by Iran number, that shit is about to rise, and it's probably going to hit the thousands in a couple of months. Because the only one stopping it from happening, they just killed.
Mm-hmm. It's tragically hilarious. Just the fact that Donald Trump is making Iranians younger and more angry. I mean, they got rid of the 80-year-old guy, and now they got the 50-year-old guy, and he's angry and he wants his nukes now.
And that is so incredibly young, because he's running an empire, guys. Yeah. Like, not in a traditional sense, like what we
Right.
think of the United States. We're talking about
The Persian Empire.
this is the Persian Empire
Yeah.
that at one point controlled 40% of the goddamn planet's population, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
This
They
is
know.
that empire.
They know how to do shit. They know how to run shit.
Like, I think people kind of forget sometimes. At the same time the Ottoman Empire existed, some people actually think that that they were rolled up into one. No, they were never. It was Persia and the Ottoman Empire. In other words, Iran and everybody else in the Middle East going at it. That's who we think that we're gonna beat with like 8 fucking ships and some goddamn water guns and some airsoft pistols, like, because that's what we're doing effectively. It makes no goddamn sense at all. I keep telling people, I don't know if you have a passport, I don't know if you have a residency in another country, but I keep telling y'all every day I get on here, learn another goddamn language, get a passport. While it's still valuable, by the way, because I'm not sure how long a goddamn U.S. passport will be able to get you into a lot of the countries that it gets you in right now without an issue, and how much it facilitates the process of a residency. Because every advantage that you had from being a United States citizen and what you could bring to a country is disappearing right in front of our very eyes. So,
Yes.
yes.
1000%. We are witnessing the erosion of American, acceptance in on the world stage, essentially.
We're getting clowned about it too. It's crazy. The bro, did you see? Please tell me you saw the Drewski video with Erica Kirk.
Wait. Oh yeah, I did. We watched it on stream
Bro,
last night.
I gotta put it on here, guys.
I thought it was
show y'all.
AI for a whole at least half, and then I realized, it's actually
no.
this guy
Drewski
went-
is really just like
he really goes for it.
the most, bro. He's like becoming known now just for going OD on these skits, like to the point where you're like, Nick, how did you find the fucking people to be a part of this skit? What is it like? It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a whole production.
Get on your feet!
He did. I don't know if you saw the one he was making fun of pastors, like super churches. He did one for about making fun of, bro. It was he literally got rented out a super church to do the goddamn skit in a Bentley and like.
He looks better than Erica Kirk.
He said, why do I wear these red bottom Louis Vuittons? Because I am a Christian and I walk in the blood of Christ.
These freaking crazy religious zealots. These Christian.
Let me tell you again. I am a Christian and I walk in the blood of Christ. Can I get an A? Everybody throwing their money cheer for. Bro, look at this, y'all. Y'all gotta see if you haven't seen it yet. Coming out to drill music.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all
Hold
the
on,
soldiers
before. So I need y'all to know the last part of that part of the clip, the end of the song. They said, "If you snitch, we gonna kill you." So yeah, that's what makes that shit. Listen to it. Yeah.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
I heard
we're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
Bro.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Coming off the these real dreams and nightmares, bro. Come on. Congratulations!
From chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup. Organic? Yes, everything organic.
Got it. Bro, you see him? You see him?
Yeah.
God damn.
4, 3, 7.
Oh my word.
4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country.
Do you
Quiet
know
part.
that?
America is built on their backs.
Do you know that was a real goddamn speech, basically, that she gave? I learned that today.
Oh, really? I
Yes.
just learned that too. Then I guess.
She literally, so she says during like some kind of event, young men shouldn't feel afraid and ashamed of who they are. We have to protect them, especially young white men. You shouldn't be afraid of who you are. We have to protect them. Bro, I said, what the hell? How was this not aired all over the world when that shit dropped? And it's because the algorithms have been protecting her. Actually. And the fact,
I mean,
go ahead.
she's got a point. I mean, the most persecuted social group in America is certainly young white males.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know
It's
why you're
100%
laughing,
true.
Nico. I'm being dead serious. No.
Apparently, it's actually the ones with the curliest of hair. I don't know if there's like a
Yes,
correlation
exactly.
there. It's like they say they just know I'm one of them. When they see me on campus from across, they say, "Look at that Silverstein over there."
I can't
But it's-
express myself in today's society as a white male, and that is a problem. I mean, I'm parodying it. I'm being satirical, but this is literally what people,
They've
that
really
I've
been
encountered
through
in
it,
my
yeah.
life. This is what they think. I mean, I say
I
she.
can't just say what the fuck
Drewski's
I
doing a
want
good
to
job parodying.
without I can't say what the fuck I want to without consequence for my actions. People are actually judging me based off of the content of my character, man. What the hell? What's up with that? Thought I was just like something you just say. Like whenever you want to tell black people to stop complaining about stuff and talking about
Right.
race. Like I thought,
Yeah, and he's like, anyway, I'm late for my class at Harvard, and then I got a meeting at Chase Bank. I'm getting a loan for my startup venture capital firm.
already, I've only been at Harvard for 2 years, and I
But
actually
I'm the
would
victim.
yeah. And what's the crazy part about Harvard? So it's one thing that you learn when you go to a public Ivy League is how these other Ivy Leagues function. So UNC I graduated from UNC, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. We practice what's called grade deflation. In other words, like just because you get an A doesn't actually guarantee that you'll get an A if too many people got a fucking A in the class. Like they will make it so that you have to get like a 97 to get an A. So Harvard, on the
Equity.
contrary, actually performs what's called grade inflation, specifically because to keep receiving their endowments and to keep being seen as prestigious as they are, they have to make it so that people are graduating with high GPAs, that it's easier for their students to get into the other Ivy League professional schools and grad schools, and that their salaries are still the highest when they leave. So they make sure that students leave with an A. My goddamn friend, my friend who went to Harvard Law said that she skipped class for damn near 3 months and still got an A in that bitch. I said, what? They didn't notice? She was like, nope, they didn't notice.
As long as
I
their
was like,
parents
well, what parts
kept sending the donations, right? I mean,
Exactly. Well, she ended up going on a full ride to Harvard because of her career at Yale, because she had straight A's at Yale. But Yale's the only Ivy League that also practices grade inflation or deflation. They're the only ones. That's why it's like fucking like people like brag about going to Yale out of all the Ivy Leagues specifically because of that. Because they're the only ones that don't engage in that nonsense. But that's also why people go the Harvard route first if they can, or the Columbia route, and then go to Yale for professional school because it's harder to do it the other way around. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I
they end up
get
getting
it, yeah.
resigned to all Yale like post grad stuff.
So
because
grade
they
deflation
didn't-
is like a good equalizer, like a way of making it more fair in the classroom based on
it's
your
a way to make your
performance.
school look more competitive.
Oh, okay.
Because generally speaking, jobs know, other schools know. Like this was actually I want to say we had a whole ass story in the New York Times specifically about UNC and Yale because the students were so pissed about this grade deflation issue because it was affecting their ability to get into Ivy Leagues and public Ivy League schools for grad school and professional school. So like, yeah, but also like UNC, as much shit as we talked about, we're like, yeah, look at us, bitch. Like, I got a 3.9 and a school that practices grade deflation. Like, kiss my ass. Like, y'all ain't that. Because it's true. Like, once you actually hang out with Ivy League school kids, which I hung out with a lot of them because of, I did APTA, which is American Parliamentary Debate Association. And you basically, most of the circuit is Ivy League. And they're not that smart. No, actually, a lot of them are idiots. And these are like the smartest of the Ivy Leagues, honestly. So like the average Ivy Leaguer, no. It's a bunch of legacy assholes who were getting, they just they did enough to get, basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. So, there was one more thing I wanted to ask you about before we got up out of here. Oh, do you think that we will see an end to this war in the near future? Or do you believe that this is going to go into at least a year or 2 years?
That is a great question. I don't feel like I'm qualified to make a accurate prediction.
Nah, you can't say that. You started out the show talking about how much you predicted to feel vindicated because of how much you predicted. I feel like.
Wow. Shots fired.
Come on, Trump. All right? Stop contradicting yourself. It's been 30 minutes.
Okay, all right. Okay, Nico. Fine. No, I don't think it's going to go on for 2 years. No, all right? I think it's going to go on at least until the summer and potentially till the midterms. I think it's going to last for a few months. And I think I really, I mean, from what I hear, Israel is getting ripped apart. And we're not knowing about this. But I think if things, I don't see how it could, I don't see how this could continue. I really don't. It's already super unpopular. We got the midterms coming up. I think it's just going to be a sort of a sea change we're going to see. And I just don't see how this is going to be sustainable long term. I think we're going to have a catastrophic end to it. I hope it's I really hope it doesn't turn nuclear is the big fear.
I don't know if it'll turn nuclear, but I don't think that it's going to end because of the midterms. At one point, I might have thought that, but when I saw, like we kind of agree, Trump is trying to lie about the war and the status of the war specifically to manipulate the markets, right? And what to me, one of the biggest indicators of that is the fact that this is the final week of the first quarter, the first financial quarter, and he is trying to stave off these short-term losses just long enough everybody can get their money, because he knows and everybody else knows this is going to go on long. They've already resigned themselves to the fact that they're going to lose Congress. They don't care. The war has already started, and he's using the war powers resolution and infusing troops, the legal amount of troops, and also the Dems nor the Republicans are doing shit about it. Right? I said when they, I literally on this show on a Wednesday, when I saw Hakeem Jeffries say we were live when I said this motherfucker just said that he's gonna put the resolution off till next week. They're about to fucking attack Iran. Anybody who I said because I was with Kyle, I said, bro, I'm terrified. He's like, why? I said they're gonna attack Iran this weekend. Why? Because why would you put off this vote that for a resolution that was introduced last year until next Tuesday? Yeah.
The Democrats are just rubber stamping what the Republicans are doing. They're feigning moral opposition, but they're passing legislation. It's like, they're complaining that Trump didn't seek congressional approval, but now that the war started, let's go ahead and fund it for 100 days.
Keep funding it.
Exactly. Let's sign off.
Hey, but let the government shut down though. Gotta let the government shut down though. But war, come on, we can't shut that down. That's how we're gonna make our money.
Let me pose the question back to you. Do you think? So you think that the war will continue for years? Do you think that there will be a ground? Do you think there'll be a ground invasion this weekend, or do you think it's going to be postponed? Because Trump said, I'm granting another 5 days. It's going to now. So that's so funny. We didn't even talk about that, but how it was a 48-hour ultimatum. Then he said it's a 5-day ultimatum. Now he's just today extended it 10 days.
Yeah.
So
like the Ukraine war was supposed to end in 24 hours after he became president.
Right.
And that didn't happen. And now we're also learning that basically he could have single-handedly ended the war by by vetoing any attempt to fund their arms because they can't continue to fight without our weapons. Like Zelensky complained about the war with Iran only because he knows that we're about to run out of weapons. Like, so he could have single-handedly ended that shit, chose not to. But on the Iran note, I think that it would be the end of next week is when he'll send troops on the ground. Yeah, and the reason why is because so we know when do billionaires in the elite, really the Epstein class, make the most money during market volatility. So when everything shoots up because of this, because everybody knows it's a lie. That's what's crazy about it. But they can justify the stocks going up and infusing money and buybacks, and they got people betting again, all that shit, how it works. Like what we saw during COVID under Trump, ironically, whenever somehow they reached a record high in the stock market, but nobody was fucking working. Like nobody's buying shit, but somehow record highs. Yeah, basically we're going to see something like that happen. Everybody's going to cash the fuck out before the market dips inevitably, because there's no way, like, bro, we're not sending 20,000 troops. We're not mobilizing 20,000 troops. We're not going to spend the money, the manpower, and the labor to mobilize 20,000 troops, and the motherfuckers are not going to get used. There's no way. In no scenario has that ever happened in the history of the United States. There's going to be a ground invasion, and like we said, he's sending the sheep to the slaughter. There ain't no fucking ranger. Rangers are made for specialized missions. Special forces, Delta Force, same thing. Specialized missions, quick, get in, get out. Like they're not grunts, right? They're not. This isn't the type of war Rangers and Special Forces are meant to fight and win. And 20,000 grunts ain't enough to do shit within a country of 90 million people with a military of 1 million people deep that is so efficient at what they do. They can train other people in other countries to fight terrorists and win. Because that's what Soleimani was doing. That's why they killed him. They're like, yo, this dude is way too good at killing the people he's way too good at killing ISIS. We got to get him up out of here. And that's when ISIS started coming back in all the countries that he got ISIS out of. Like if Soleimani was still alive, Bashar al-Assad would still be in power. Mm-hmm. They had to get him out because he was too goddamn efficient at his job. Like but that's a type of military we're dealing with. How often do we train military, rebels that are really terrorists, and that shit just blows back and shoots us in the face, kicks us in the nuts because we're not actually that good at it. But they're good at training, arming, maintaining morale. Which builds coalitions, friendships, and builds confidence in your leadership and instills confidence from the troops into their leaders. Because, like, damn, these people, the soldiers in Iraq respect my commander. My commander served over there with people that he doesn't speak the same language as sometimes, and they speak whatever Arabic they speak, and comes back to Iran like it's nothing. Yeah, let's kill some more terrorists. Like, bro. We're sending. There's going to be a ground invasion. Why? Because the stupidest possible thing Trump could do right now. And if there's one thing that we've learned this last year, Raph, before we get up out of here, it is that Trump will do the thing that is the stupidest possible thing to do in the moment. That is one thing that we've learned this last year. He's been consistent on that shit. The first term, it was like, I don't know what the hell he's going to do here. Like, oh, shit, he's going to have a meeting with Kim Jong-un and have President Moon cross on North Korea? Oh, that's kind of strange. Like, you couldn't, he tried to make sure his left couldn't see his right coming. This is not the same administration. We can predict everything. The stupidest possible shit that he can do, that is exactly what he's going to do.
I mean, I wish we could end on a more positive note, but I mean, you're absolutely correct. And hey, I wanted to ask you, I had a question because I saw that you posted a video about your name was being searched on Google. You found it on Google Trends in Israel. I wanted to just ask you about that. Like, how did you come about that? And like, what do you make of this?
So
what is that about?
So that same day when I discovered this,
yeah,
there was multiple attempts to hack my Twitter and my Instagram accounts, like my largest accounts. And it happened in the exact same way. They tried to send a link saying that somebody tried to sign into my account and I need to change my password.
Okay.
Right? I'm like, no, because if somebody tried to sign into my account and it wasn't me, they ask you, did you try to sign into your account? Like, or they'll alert you to tell you that somebody tried to sign into your account and where they tried to sign in from. Like, I'm not an idiot. I've done this for long enough to know. I have to, sign in all the time. So, like, I'm like, this is strange, because why would they only try Instagram and my my Twitter, my X accounts? Because like they didn't try to hack my TikTok, for example, I don't post there anymore, right? They didn't try to hack my Facebook, for example, like, and I post there often, but I just started really building my following back up there again recently. So like, and this is after I had like several viral videos.
That's what I was wondering. Did it coincide with some viral clips that, and then they caught their attention? Yeah.
Specifically about Iran and Israel. I was talking about the fact that, don't you guys find it a little bit strange that at that moment, the United States was claiming 4 people had gotten killed, just to have enough that they have less people killed than Israel, who was claiming, I think at the time they only had 7 people killed. And then the U.S. raised it to 6. And then Israel raised theirs to 12. And I say, isn't it just a little bit suspicious, guys? Because I'm pretty sure like that is exactly what's happening. They know if Americans discover that we have lost more people than Israel has, all hell's going to break loose in this bitch. And they know it. So they have to keep the numbers low. And bro, they try to hack my accounts. And I had mentioned on Twitter, like, yo, content creators, be careful, because it seems like something that's happening. Because another friend had his account hacked recently. It took him forever to get back. But like, and then somebody was like, oh, this might have something to do with it, and showed me the article from Mint Press that was done that day about people getting searched up in Israel. Anonymous accounts, though, getting searched in Israel, which was like strange in and of itself. But I went to go search my name. I'm like, well, but those are anonymous accounts, and they're getting searched like 12 times. So I'm guessing mine like probably won't show up because I'm verified. No, that's the opposite. Had 100 fucking searches, at least, within that 24-hour period. Right around the time that I got hacked, right around the time those videos went viral, literally, I'm like, holy shit, what the hell? Because that Mint Press article was put out that day. My accounts had tried to been hacked that day. Like, all of it happened within a 24-hour period. And, somebody was like, yeah, a big ass. And somebody said, well, what if it's just a rogue, it's a Israel, AI in Israel searching people that, I'm like, that does not make me feel better.
Yeah, right. They're targeting
that
you
means,
with AI.
yeah, that means they're targeting me with AI, and they have certain triggers specifically. And that would also mean that if they're getting people's government name, like obviously my government is different because I'm a content creator, I'm a personality, and literally it pops up when you search me on Google Trends, political personality, okay, or media personality. There are people who have none of their information on the internet, or at least publicly available on X, and except the fucking verification company that Elon partnered with, which we all know is owned by Israel and ran specifically by Unit 1800. Or 8200, excuse me.
Yeah, 8200, right.
Which would mean Elon gave these motherfuckers our information. He's letting them abuse it and letting them run an AI to target us.
Yep.
That's scarier.
Yep.
Because I'm like, well, how much information do they get? Because you got to think about what they're, if you, like, I would tell people, like, use a passport. Don't use your license. Don't use your state ID. Because I understand, like, everybody has to, to some degree, if you're a professional, you have to have X. I understand that. But if you use your state ID, you're cooked. Because now they got everything. There's no, especially if it's recently updated.
You're saying, like, when you're trying to, like, verify your account.
Verify your identity.
If you upload, right, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a passport, use that. If you have a military ID, use that. But if you use the shit with your, they know you're an organ donor. They know what blood type you got. They know your address. Because everybody had to recently go to real IDs, right, to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. That means basically, for the most part, everybody's ID more or less is up to date.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. Because, Israel has this habit of, their missiles just accidentally fucking slipping out of their systems and bombing civilians who disagree with them. It's just a fucking coincidence. And especially journalists. I don't know. It's like we must have like magnets in our microphones or some shit. Like, because you know, our and the magnet must just true north must be Israel, because Lord
It
goddamn
always
baby
is.
Jesus.
It always is.
I don't know how these bombs keep finding, you know, journalists, and the magnets are so strong that they even fall on the families of the journalists when the journalists aren't in the house. Isn't that just insane? That's a strong ass magnet. So yeah, that's what happened, man. It was, you know, bro. My mom texted me. She's like, Nico, stop playing. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's like that video you posted. I'm like, Mom, I'm not playing. I'm like, I wish I could tell you that I was joking. Like, I know I said it in the joke. Now I'm not playing. Like, I'm dead ass serious.
Well, you
Because,
did the
you
right
know,
thing that you made a video about it. You shared, you let people know what was going on. And, you know, the silver lining, I think, in all this is that at least you know you're being effective with with what you're doing.
And it made other content creators start to look themselves up, and they were feeling trend. Like, maybe if it wasn't that day, maybe 2 days later after they had a viral video or a viral tweet about Iran, like they started. And so I'm like, because that was the other reason I did it, because at that point people had with the Mint Press article, because they were just working off the information that they had available at the time. They thought it was just the anonymous small accounts that were being targeted. Maybe they're just trying to find those people, because, you know, we know they like to do FBI fucking raids out of nowhere. It was just there was the police raided a young woman's house in the UK recently for criticism of Israel. So we know but no one thought that it was big accounts getting targeted too. Yeah. Until I did the video and everybody started looking up themselves up. Because like, don't get it. We can all get touched by Israel. Like, that is reality that we live in today. Like, I don't like to make my family nervous about that shit. I don't really talk about how much the Israel question is a problem. Like, because I don't want them to worry about it. But like, I had to do that video because the moment that you stay quiet, they're waiting for that shit. They're waiting so that they can. So they hoping them Charlie Kirk messages in Candace Owens conversations don't get leaked. They don't want people to even know that you were questioning them and that you were worried about your life, because then they can just put it on somebody else and call it a conspiracy and you know, they can Tyler Robinson your ass. Yeah.
Well, it's like Rosa Luxemburg said, the most revolutionary thing that you can do is always to loudly and defiantly proclaim what's happening right now. You know, speak it out, and yeah, it's good.
The same thing happened whenever I was one of the co-founders of the DNC fraud lawsuit, and the first thing I did was I recorded every step of that process. I recorded, like, when I was talking to certain people. When I got threatened, you know, I got threatened, and like I actually threatened him back because I saw his area code and realized that he was from the same area code as I'm from at the time. I was living at the time. Oh yeah, I was like, bro, you're not calling me from a Fayetteville area code, brother. Do you know who I am? Like, I got dudes that'll fucking show up to your crib and fuck you up because they're bored. Like, you don't ever call me again. You have lost your mind. I will. So you don't have to worry about finding me. I'll find you. And he was like, no, it's not like that. Not like that. I said, no, yeah, it was. Yeah, but you thought I was gonna be like, no, please don't. Yeah, I know what the fuck you thought it was. Nah, bro. Like, you know, I can see your number. Like, you're from Fayetteville. Yeah, me too, bitch. Like, yeah, bro. He was terrified. I was like, yeah, I'm not one of those. I'm not like a politician, dog. I have no political aspirations whatsoever.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I will fuck you up. Like, I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, I said, dog, at that time, like, there was like a viral video of me fighting somebody because that motherfucker owed my sister money. Like, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'm getting shit posted. Like, this was back then. So like, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I will fuck you up and then tell everybody I did it right here on YouTube, dog. And his whole
I love that.
tone,
and we need that energy,
changed.
Nico. We need that more of that energy. I just like, you know, I don't care. I love that. I feel that, and you know, I feel that
we do need it.
Passion,
like,
you know,
we are on the precipice of revolution.
Yeah.
Like, we are right here.
Yeah.
And we need more people who don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, we need more people that are like, yo, I will punch you in the fucking throat right now. Like,
and it's because we give a fuck. It's because we give a fuck about human values and morals and human dignity and all these things.
I added what's that? Andrew Tate's punk ass. Like, I was like, bro, I said, bro, we can meet in the cage. I added him. I was like, yo, we can meet in the cage. Because you talking shit and like you just got your ass busted in a boxing match for an old dude. And you over here talking about how much you train, how much you are ready for action, and you got it wasn't even close.
He got
I said,
clocked,
give me 6 months. Yeah, I said, give me 6
Yeah.
months, bro. We can get in. I said, I want boxing gloves. I want to get in a cage with your ass. I want all body parts available to fuck you up and show everybody how much of a bitch you actually are.
Yeah.
Because I hate these fake ass hyper masculine fuckers that are really
Oh, God.
closet gay. Like that dude's he closet gay. He that boy got
Oh,
Lindsey Graham all over his
Mhm.
face. Maybe figuratively, probably literally. But like I hate that shit. I hate the fake tough guy shit. Because like I've been around people who have been desperate enough and are like people ask me and my brother like, yo, how we've been in way more fights than I care to admit. And they like, yo, how are y'all like this? Like always, if we perceive it as a threat when we're growing up, we're fucking that individual up or those people up. And we're like, oh, because we have this heightened sense of alertness because of our upbringing. Because like that's how it was. Like you can be in a fucking brawl because of the outcome of a basketball game. And you just had to live with that reality if you want to play outside. But you couldn't lose a fight because now everybody thinks you're a bitch, and now you look like a mark, and now people are gonna fuck with you in school, and they're gonna fuck with your siblings, and like it's like shit rolls downhill. So guess what we had? We spent a lot of our time like fighting each other, so we wouldn't get beat up on the street.
Yeah.
That's what we did with our free time. I'm talking about throwing blows at each other, so we wouldn't get beat up on the street. That's how we grew up, and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, when I said we're on the precipice of revolution, because that's kind of how we all feel like we're living. It's we don't know when shit could pop off, and we got fake tough guys like fucking like Andrew Tate pretending like they're about shit and convincing this sect of a movement that may otherwise be a part of this class consciousness that we're trying to that we're trying to build.
Absolutely.
And turning them into fake tough guys.
Yep.
That's what's happening.
That's a great way of putting it. It's like they're pigeonholing. It's like they're herding them into the wrong direction. It's like, no, these people are reactionaries. You know, Andrew Tate is, of course, a shining example of that.
He's the fucking worst. Like I can't stand him. Officer Tatum.
Oh my God, that guy.
Bro, I can't.
What a clown. He's the one that said, "Oh yeah, I went to Israel and I only got spit on one time. We loved it. It's great."
Bro, that shit was like, oh, that's your king. That's your king. Spit on me, but just once.
Spit on me just one time.
Maybe think you don't want to do it, Daddy.
It's how
Maybe
alpha male of you. They only
made me
spit
think
on
you don't
one
want to
time.
spit on me, Daddy. Like, what the hell? I can't. When he said that shit, bro, when he was telling that story, I said, is this satire? Cause his face was. He said, they say they like spit on us. Let me tell you something. We only got spit on one time, and somebody apologized for that individual's behavior.
It's like he's trying to refute the stereotype, but he only plays into it. You know, he's only promoting it,
bro. It's like he was getting so bad. You remember when he was getting pissed because he wasn't getting the money that everybody else was getting? He said, "Y'all say I'm getting paid? I'm not getting paid. What the fuck?" He was so bad. He said, "How much they get? Hold up, they're getting paid to come? What the heck?" Like, yeah, bro, you're still black.
Like,
you're still black.
That meme that like, you guys are getting paid. I don't think any of them got paid though.
They didn't get paid. They're suing.
Yeah, they're suing them. They didn't get their 7,000 shekels. What a tragedy.
Can you believe that Israel just used people up and lied about what they were going to do to reward them? And just discard them like paper? I can't believe it.
Yeah. It's so not in line with their behavior.
Yeah, that's not Israeli values.
What a shocker.
I thought y'all good little boys was going to get some. That shit is hilarious. That was like, y'all really thought that? Because I'm sure people were going hard. Because we all know what that was really about, right? That was about the lead up to this shit. Yeah, Israel got what they wanted. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Yeah.
Now we don't need your approval. We don't need your support.
They scraped the bottom of the barrel. They had the worst, Israeli shills that they could possibly find because everybody had jumped ship. You know, it's like, well, these are the people that are still spineless enough to promote the genocide. So, and they were terrible at it. You know, they weren't even effective. They get like 30 likes on these posts. They're supposedly have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yep. I'm telling you, bro, this and before we go to, I want to say, like, I feel like the Republican Party, these shills, these Zionists are creating their own demons that they're about to have to deal with in the next few years because Candace is as many criticisms as I have for Candace's comments of the past, Candace is a problem for them right now. Yeah. This woman is the #1 podcast in the fucking world, and she hates Zionists with a passion, and her reason for hating them is like, people don't remember this tweet, but I remember because my wife was pregnant at the time, and so I'm like, I think she's being dead ass. So she said, I can't, like, my whole view changed whenever I had a kid. I can't imagine living in those circumstances, holding my newborn baby, and having and surviving. And what I said, oh, yeah, that's it for their ass. Because when that maternal instinct comes, it's like a fucking, finally, a switch went off in her head. That's what happened. And then they lost Tucker Carlson, who was trying to give them as much goddamn rope as he could possibly give.
Right.
And he's like, nah, bro, this is fuck. And y'all, damn near, it looked like y'all planning on trying to kill him. They gave y'all all the rope in the world.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
right. I think
Joe
it's a sign of the times.
And then Joe Kent, he said, bro, Israel dragged us into this bitch. Like, let's stop. I'm not going to pussyfoot, because he knows too. If I leave and they know why I left and I don't say why I left, we know what happens. You get Tyler Robinson. Okay. So you got a man now who's famous for calling out Israel before he fucking walks out of an administration, with all his goddamn decorated years of military service, and a wife who died because of another war that Israel started. And then you have to deal with Thomas Massie, who is probably one of the only universally loved politicians left.
Yeah.
Who is on a roasting spree.
Yeah, I never would have thought I'd like a Republican, but I like Thomas Massie lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Thomas Massie has pretty consistently been on the right side of every major global issue. Yeah. Like, he's really consistent about that, because he sees directly how it affects Kentucky. Like, he's like, bro, we get carved out, and the only time we make money is when we're at war. This is not sustainable because of the military bases there and the troops. Like, this isn't sustainable, and it's not fair that we have to risk our lives for our state to be worth a damn. It's ridiculous. And then you got even MTG.
Yeah,
like,
you resigned.
She's a problem for them. She's not going to win. She can't win anything. I don't think she could win. No, she can't win the primary. If like either of those, if Massie or Kent ran, she couldn't win, but she could kind of drag the discourse in a direction, in a coalition with them. Like, that would be a problem for the Republican elite and the Democrats. Like, because if one of, let's just say Kent or Massie decides to, once again, unfortunately, both of their wives have been taken away from them in some way, form, or fashion by the same people they just criticized. And so basically, the one reason that they might have had not to run, because of the fear of their own life, because they want to be there for their significant other, that y'all taking that away from them. And then y'all have been trying to run their names through the fucking mud while starting a war for those same people. So Thomas Massie might not have even thought about running for president in the Republican Party before. Yeah, good luck with that shit now, because he's more popular than he's ever fucking been. Like you just said, you never even thought you would like a Republican.
Right.
But that would be the first time I guarantee it would be the first time that you would consider voting for one, if it means that we can make sure that fucking Hakeem Jeffries, Gavin Newsom, goddamn Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, if it means any of them can be all the way the fuck away from the office, yeah, I would absolutely vote for Massie. Absolutely. 100%. Boy, y'all might see me get my ass back to the U.S. just to campaign for that motherfucker. Because the man who just lost it, like, I don't give a damn what nobody says, bro. Israel took that man's wife.
Yeah.
Israel took his goddamn wife. And they weren't even
too.
shy about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know it. Everybody knows it. And they're just like, they're kind of snickering almost. Like, yeah, bitch, and you can't do anything about it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's a dang. Y'all see how much of a fuck he does not give at the moment? I feel like people are not really processing it. Like, he's roasting Trump. He's becoming more popular every day. And if he ran for president on criticizing the most unpopular president in the history of our country right now, it would be an easy dub.
Yeah.
It would be hard to rig. You would, like, who are you going to run against Thomas Massie from the Republican Party? AOC? Can you imagine? Thomas Massie and AOC on stage together, bro?
Oh, I can't actually. Thomas Massie would rip her to shreds. I think we're seeing the death sentence for the Zionist lobby. I think it's going to play out over time, but I don't see how Zionism survives. I don't see how the state of Israel survives. And obviously the United States won't survive in the present, version.
In present form.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, hey, bro, we're in the age of Aquarius, dog.
Yeah.
It's true. I tell
May
we
ye
are
live
in
in
the end of an
interesting
era.
times, just like Confucius
Hmm
said, right? Yeah.
Exactly, and I tell people all the time, said Revelations, even though the Bible was written by a bunch of people who kind of manipulated historical facts and use them to manipulate people because that's what they do, but they had to borrow from something that was real. That is what Revelations is. It is predicting the end of an era that is almost a goddamn. It is a philosophical guarantee because it always has happened. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, like do you know, like they talk, I think it's 33% or something to that extent. No, it's 1/3 of the Earth's sea life will go extinct. Do you know we are almost exactly at 1/3, down to the goddamn percentage? They
I
say
did not know that.
they say the food will start being poisoned, will start being too poisonous to eat.
I like
Where we at?
microplastics. I don't know. I think they get a bad rap.
Thanks, Obama. Right? Like, bro, they talk the earth would be scorched by the sun. The smog will it will be too small to like, bro. Do you know why all those factors all of a sudden cause this revelation? Everybody thinks of it as a negative thing, but it's because all of a sudden I can't fish. Maybe you could have ignored that until your fucking crops start dying. Now we can't ignore each other's problems. And if my kids can't breathe, all of a sudden, no one can ignore the problems that are affecting all of us now. So we can finally stop fucking bitching at each other and bitch at the people and fight the people that we need to fight to fix this shit. That's why Revelation is a philosophical, political certainty, and that's why the Bible uses it, because every single culture talks about this inevitability.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and it's happening again, because it's almost right on cue every 2,000 years. It happens every single time. And that's why the U.S. is dumb as shit, because it happens usually to the biggest empires. And the U.S. isn't even an empire that has existed that long. And you're like, man, we're going to do something that Rome.
250th year. Yeah.
Yeah, 250. Yeah, it was 250, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
250
this
is
year.
baby, guys. Like we're toddlers, if that, if we can even say that. Like, and Rome, you're going to try to do something that Rome couldn't do, that Persia couldn't do, that Russia couldn't do, that China couldn't do. Like, don't get me wrong, like they've all survived because they knew when to stop. They're like, hey man, we gotta chill out. We gotta chill out, or we ain't gonna make it. The US, instead of chilling out, they're like, you know what we should do? Let's go harder. Let's see if that'll fix the
Yeah,
problems
I
that
know.
are killing us.
Exactly. Yeah.
If
We're
we
just
believe
so
we can achieve
desperate.
it.
I just hope that the demons are vanquished from the earth. That's all I really want out of this
I'm hoping,
rapture.
man. That's
This go round.
bro. I'm telling you, like these are demons, bro. That's the only way you can think of describe these people.
And I'm not
Man,
one to give
Yahoo.
way to like religious mythology and to couch these geopolitical conflicts into a religious framework, but it really does increasingly seem like it's good versus evil at this point.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like
Yeah.
it,
Angels
I used to
versus
think it was
demons.
good versus bad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's good,
Yeah.
good people versus bad. No. Like the more these conflicts were played out, and then the genocide in Gaza, like, that was like what solidified. I'm like, no, this is like literally good versus evil. Everybody, the truest version of themselves, who they are as people, it's about to come out right now, and we're going to know who's actually on our side, who may have been misguided in the past, right? Or may have had the propensity to look the other way because, they could, well, this is a little bit different. Well, this always happens in this genocide exposed. Everybody, if you actually have a fucking soul or if you're a demon. And people, there's some people who are coming out and we're like, what the hell? They used to have such bad opinions before. Well, witnessing a genocide might do some shit to your soul.
You would think.
Like,
if you have one, yes, it might.
If you
alter
have
everything.
one, that is it. Like there are people who are greedy. And I know people say, like, for example, Tucker and Candace, they lie to get to the platforms they have. It's true. But now with the platforms they have, I've never heard Tucker talk about genocide so goddamn much.
Yeah.
I've never heard him mention like, even when it was like in its like at its height, he briefly would bring it up and say, but I love Israel. I love people. I have Israeli friends. In an interview, and I was like, them motherfuckers wouldn't even guarantee like that I wouldn't be shot down by the military when I flew in on a private plane that I didn't even want to take.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
He's definitely changed his tune for sure. He's like, I think he's completely against Israel at this point.
Oh yeah, no. After that Huckabee meeting, that was it for it. Yeah. That was a nail in the coffin. Even because of what happened after, like they interrogated his people after they kept him in, like bro, and then like Huckabee basically goes and defends Israel instead of defending the American citizen. Dog, it's nuts. Like, but yeah, go ahead, please keep creating more allies for us, you fucking idiots. Like, yeah, I appreciate you, cause now, like, yeah, they got it's I kind of like this weird irony, like, yeah, Zionists more or less are the reason that those platforms got created. We know that. But what they've become and what they've decided to use it for, you cannot take that credit away from them because we have criticisms of their stances from the past. Like the criticisms were genuine and deserved.
Yeah.
But the credit is also deserved because it is much easier to keep playing the game. Because when people keep forgetting, there is no and was no guarantee that either Candace or Tucker would be this popular after they left their Zionist masters.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Ben Shapiro thought he obliterated Candace. He thought.
Look at him now.
And look at him now. And Candace is somehow the #1 podcaster in the world, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
I can't be like, nah, she don't deserve that shit. No, she deserves it. She deserves it. She became a fucking an incredible investigative journalist. It took her friend getting killed and a genocide happening for that to happen. But like, you cannot discount her investigative abilities because this is not the same Candace that I was listening to 7-8 years ago.
Right.
This is not the same person.
Yeah.
This is who she was. Maybe this is the path that she had to go through to become this version of herself, you know, because I feel like whoever didn't like Candace didn't like Candace. Like, it was nothing that was going to happen like to make a black person like Candace that didn't like her. And she was only there to reaffirm the beliefs of people who already held those beliefs.
Yeah.
And that was, so really she was just there to maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
And she didn't do as much damage as people think that she did because she was never put in a position to be allowed to do as much damage or help as much as her Zionist white counterparts. Because we saw the way that she was treated by Ben is not the same that the rest of the staff has been treated. And everybody knows she got treated the way, though he was talking so out of pocket about her, the way that he was, because she was black. Like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, you know, we gotta, like you said, bro, like the truth is that important. They wouldn't like literally be saying like, yeah, we can't guarantee that we're gonna advise our military that you're coming. Like, what? That is not like, what? Hold up, bitch. But they're not gonna attack me, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't you just let them know? Like, just, hey, you know, you're in because they're Israel's fucking 7 front war is what they always say, right? Or some shit like that.
I think it's 8 or 9 up now at this point.
Who fucking knows, right? Shit. and that's not even including the secret wars that be fighting behind closed doors. So, yeah, like, I need y'all to let your military know because airspace, that shit's, every military needs to know what's going on with their airspace. That is normal. They're like, yeah, you know, well, we might tell them, we might not. Who knows? Well, no, I need y'all to tell them because y'all missiles, once I'm a journalist, right? And some magnets, you know, and them crazy magnets that we got on us. What if one of the bitches ends up on my plane, you know? Yeah, so, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's crazy that, you know, we're at the point where like genocide is the dividing line, the litmus test for where we're going. Like, which side are you on? You know, and it's like I find myself aligning with people that I don't share their same political beliefs, but I am 1,000% in their corner because they're opposing the active genocide that's happening. They're opposing the Zionist capture of our government. So they have my critical support and solidarity, you know, because I think that's the most important thing. That's the principal contradiction that people are learning. Everybody's becoming aware of this really important antagonism in our society. And we all must, you know, if we're going to move forward and progress as a human civilization, we've got to take care of this really big problem. And we got to put aside right, left, you know, psyop style disagreements.
And we have to all understand that we're all and we've all been at one point victims of the same psyops, the same propaganda. We are all victims of and limited by our personal experiences. So like that's true for everybody. I loved Obama when I was 17 and 18 years old. I thought he was the best thing ever. Good God, how I hate this man now.
Yeah.
Would it be fair for somebody? And I was, politically awake, I thought I was. I thought I was. And I genuinely believed I was. So based off of the information that had presented to me and based off my own personal experiences.
Yeah.
So would it be fair for somebody to say, like, you can't be right on the issue today because you loved Obama when you were 18? No, that's
no. I mean, it's silly. People are all on their own political journeys, and I think the problem I have is people that are presented with new information, but they don't amend their conclusions. They still
that's the ego.
Regress back to their original. Ego. Yeah.
Because to admit that you might be wrong on one significant political issue would be to admit that you could be wrong on all of them.
Yeah.
And that's your entire, and then they literally start to question themselves as people.
Yeah.
Like they have, like there's layers and layers and layers to that comes with admitting that you could be wrong on a major political issue. Like it's.
Yeah. I think
that's what like Tucker was going through with Israel.
What's that?
I think that's what Tucker was going through with Israel at first. Like he's like, bro, if I'm this wrong about Israel, like I could be. Cause I thought I was waking up, but if I was this wrong about Israel, well, how much shit am I getting wrong? I think that's what took them so long to get to the ultimate fuck Israel position.
Like, he's done a 180.
Yeah, having your people detained will do that shit.
Right.
It's crazy. Like but that's what happens, man. You gotta be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I could be wrong about everything I'm doing up until this point, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I have my own humility in this. I was a Rachel Maddow watching liberal at one point. I was like, impeach Trump, let's go. Around like 2018.
Bro, how could you listen to her? Like, even if I
don't know. It's not my proudest moment. Okay. I was on my liberal journey,
Hey man, I watched TYT faithfully back in the day, man.
Yeah.
So like, we right here with each other, my dog. We right here. Right. That shit's basically the same goddamn thing. It's liberal shit for people who like the internet more than TV. That's basically the only difference with TYT. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they pick and choose when they want to be on the right side of history when it's convenient, and then completely throw us under the bus whenever them checks get cashed. Like. We all go through it, man. Like it's crazy to think, like, how could I have ever fallen for TYT's bullshit? Because I didn't know better. Simple as that.
Don't know what you don't know. I agree. How do you know what you don't know? You have
but
to
when I got that new information, when I got that new information, became real easy then. Like I don't give a damn if Jacob go on his little I don't support genocide tour. Wow, congratulations. You literally achieved the bare minimum standard for being a decent human being.
That's right. That's how.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Hey, what? You want to fucking run last? All the shit that you did to help us get to this moment?
Yeah.
Like trying to shame us into voting for Joe Biden? Right? Like people forget that.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to like fucking do victory laps because you decided to be against genocide that you helped usher in, motherfucker. I sleep with my conscience clean because I didn't vote for any of those pieces of shit.
Yeah. And I don't want to die with any illusions about this life, that I've lived. I want to know that I lived a life of integrity, a life of dignity. It's so hard, I think, to preserve your own autonomy and your own integrity and your own dignity in this political economy because you're forced to acquiesce all the time, and so it's tough. It's an uphill battle, I think, but that's how I chose to live.
My autistic ass won't let me do it, bro. Like, bro, you know how easy it would be for me to game? I have a conservative friend who literally told me, like, bro, you are so smart. You could game the system and be a millionaire. I said, I could, but I can't. He was like, what do you mean you can't? I was like, my brain won't let me do it. What do you mean? Because I can't. I will have to lie to y'all. I will have to lie to myself. Then I have to continue to maintain those lies in this facade. Like, I cannot physically bring myself to lie. Like, I don't want to be able to do it. But I'm telling you also, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. And I'm gonna say that shit because I got diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're right. I share that sentiment because I could have climbed the corporate ladder just like, you know, I've had opportunities, I've had privileges, of course. But like you're saying, you know, I just couldn't live with myself. I wouldn't have. And they love that. They don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to have time to discover what your passions and interests are. You know, it's choose your master is in this society.
Being in Brazil and being in a situation where I don't have to actually put as much time into like doing physical work all the time is what gave me the opportunity to discover more of myself, who I am as Nico, but also like who I am as a father, who I am even as a son who became a father, like is which gives you whatever, like and that all plays a role into how I view politics now, how I present things, how I explain stuff to my kids. And it's so important. One of the reasons why capitalism is so fucking fatalistic, man, it's like it's the death of self.
Yeah. And that's such an interesting point because it's ironic because we're taught in capitalism that you should only think of yourself. You should only consider what your, you know, enrichment.
Now you're adding to the capitalist system.
Yeah, but paradoxically, you pursue that, you actually erode yourself, you efface yourself. You don't actually ever discover yourself because you're only solely interested in what you think is the pursuit of your own independence, which is really just the pursuit of profits, you know, at the expense of your own integrity, at the expense of everyone else.
You know, so when I was actually out with my wife, funny enough, and this lady looks at me, she goes, "Oh, você tem jeito gostoso," which is basically like your style is like it's like almost like flirting, but she wasn't flirting. It was like basically saying like, "What is going on with you?" Like not in a bad like she's like, "No, you got tattoos."
Like you're your own person. Like, wow.
Yeah, like your hair, you're like everything about you is unique. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? She's like, nothing wrong with it. It's amazing because like I thought your friend said that you're a political analyst. I'm like, I am. They're like, oh, like are you? I'm like, I'm one of the best in the world. I mean, if I'm being honest, why? She's like, but you get to dress like that, like, and you get to have that. I get to do what the fuck I want to because I'm one of the best in the world. What the fuck I do? And probably because like this is why because I am who I am. Yeah. And the more I discover myself, the better I am at my job.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I mean, you know, free healthcare would let you do that, man. You know.
That's right.
The fear of not having an emergency that can put you out of your goddamn house.
I mean, I treat my live streams like a therapy session for myself.
Hey, so, I literally tell it whenever I have an extended period away, same thing. I tell my boss, oh my God, yeah, so let me talk to y'all, man. Therapy time.
Gotta get it off my chest. Exactly.
Bro, you know, for example, so my firstborn, when we had him and we had him in a public hospital, and the whole time I'm waiting for the hammer to drop. I'm like, okay, she's in the room. Damn, they out here giving diapers. Okay, they're giving formula in case they don't want to breastfeed. Okay, they're giving hats and baby clothes. Okay, I'm like, babe, I'm not about to get a bill. You sure? No, babe. You're positive. Nico, no, you're not gonna get. I don't believe you. Yeah. Oh man, they gotta give her medicine because of this. Okay, you know they're doing a shot or they're doing this, they're doing checkups. And you're sure, babe, because you've been here about 2 days now. They're not gonna give me a bill. No, like I'm not gonna get one in the mail because you know in the U.S. they like to give you the bill after, you know, to not ruin your happy moment. No, I'm like, oh, okay, we walk out of the hospital. I'm looking at the recession. I'm not gonna get arrested if I leave right now, my child, right? If I was looking at me like, what's wrong with that? So we're positive. I'm not about to have to pay for none of this shit. It's like, Nico, no, come on. I'm like, all right, bro. My first kid was born completely and totally for free.
So it ended up, wow.
Yeah, it's a whole system dedicated to this thing. Yeah, like, yeah, wow. Free. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, wait till I tell my friends. They're going to be so pissed. Because then every kid that I know that is, or excuse me, every friend that I have that isn't in the military, right? They're all still paying bills from the kid they had 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Wow. That's how they get you. They just saddle you with debt just for basic survival needs. It's
Yeah.
it's so despicable. I hate it here.
Oh, by the way, all of them have health insurance too. So it's
Yeah.
like they're still paying bills, and
And
it would have been more expensive if they didn't have
Mm.
health insurance. Like, why do you have the insurance then? Why do we have it?
Yeah.
For what? If I
It's
can't
a
have a
scam.
damn child and have it be paid for, what is the point?
It's such a scam.
The biggest scam, bro. ACA, bro. The insurance company's wet dream.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy. I gotta get up out of here. Oh, damn, it's getting late. Yeah, it's about 12 o'clock over here. I know it's not just getting started for you, but bro,
Nico,
it
thank
was
you so much for having me. I really enjoyed our discussion. I hope we can do it again sometime.
bro, for sure. Dog, I
Cool.
love the conversation. Please keep up the marvelous work that you're doing, bro. Sometimes
Same.
I just go whenever I have days where I like, bro, I'm not going right. I'm like depressed, looking at the regular news. Like, let me hear this shit, but in funny. Let me go to Ray's Instagram page and binge for a little bit, dog. Since I gotta do the news any goddamn way today, let me just hear it from his perspective so I can get a little bit animated.
Oh,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
the work that you do, man. And I'm happy to
Same.
see that you're doing so well on YouTube as well. It's well deserved, bro.
Thank you, bro. And hey, us graybeards, we got to stick together, okay?
For sure, man. Because Lord, baby Jesus, dog, I look like the most confused young adult. Like, you're like, how old are you? 36. Why do you have so much gray in your beard? In here? You lying, or you just look really young for a 45-year-old? Or what's going? Nope, I've had gray in my beard since I was 26.
Well, you don't even look 36. I think it's a good look. All right, I like to flaunt my grades. I'm proud of them.
I
I'm
love
39, so
bro. You know what I mean? People like, people like will speak in Portuguese, think that I don't, because like if I'm with my American friends or my English friends, they think I'm say they think I'm a gringo. I am one, but they think I don't speak Portuguese. So they're like, why does he dye his beard like that? I mean, it looks really cool, but it looks so fake. I'm like, this is my real goddamn hair. Oh, you understood? Yeah, motherfucker, this is my real hair. Well, it looks really cool. Like, how did you get to do that? I'm like, I woke up. Oh, I had a kid.
life happens.
Life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like to think it's
a
wisdom.
good thing.
I like to think that. You know what I'm saying? But it's probably
Yeah.
stress. Appreciate you, man. Tell everybody where they can find you at for everybody, for the people who aren't following you yet.
Yeah, I'm on mainly on YouTube streaming these days. I just got banned on Twitch for 2 weeks for some bullshit, but I'll be back.
Catching bands.
But no,
Catching bands.
yeah. It's I guess it's not really a ban, it's more like a suspension, but I'll be back. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I'm at Rathbone with an extra E. It looks like Rathbone E because every time they ban me, I just add an E to the next to the page for the next account. So yeah, that's basically it.
Man, that really is really of you, man. Is every time they call something genocide, you just change the definition of it, or they call somebody anti-Semitic, and it's not really anti-Semitic. You just change the definition of anti-Semitism, right?
Yeah.
Just add an E.
Just add an E there.
Learn from the best, man. I appreciate you for everybody else. Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream episode of For the People podcast. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, leave a comment below, and you can support the show on Patreon. You can become a premium YouTube subscriber. But of course, as always, we always appreciate anybody who just shares, so that helps just about as much as anything else. And other than that, always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.